Hello, my friends. Thanks for watching us on Kardec Radio. This is Spiritism, a closer look. I'm Luiz Lima, broadcasting tonight from Orlando, Florida. And tonight we are going to take a closer look at moral pain and struggles. Who hasn't had any struggles? So it's something that relates to all of us. We can use as a reference this book here, Nosso Lar, chapter 6. It's a chapter that it deals with the situation. So we extracted some of the teachings in that chapter, and that's what we're going to talk about. The book is written by discarnate spirit, André Luiz, through the hands of Brazilian medium Chico Xavier. I'm not going to tell you the whole story on the book, but André Luiz discarnates, and he comes back to tell us his endeavors in the spirit world in a series of 12 books. This book, Nosso Lar, is the first book where he's going to tell us what happened when he got to the other side. So it's very interesting. A lot of teachings in there, a lot of reflection to be made upon. It's not something that you just read through. It's a study book, I would say. Anyhow, so he discarnates, gets on the other side of life, and he becomes what he calls a tormented soul. And that goes for years, 8 or 9 years. And he lives in the dark zones, lower zones, and until he gets rescued into a spiritual colony. The name of the colony is Nosso Lar. That's why the name of the book is Nosso Lar, which is a Brazilian Portuguese words for our home. The book, they preserved the original name of the colony because it's the name of the colony. So the name of the book stayed as Nosso Lar. There is an earlier translation of this book from about 14, 15 years ago. And that first translation has a different title. It's the same book, but it has a different title. It's called Astral City. So in this book, he relates his experiences, which, like I said, he relates to most of us, directly or not. So it all begins for him because he has to undergo this tremendous pain, and he's trying to overcome struggles, and it's a great deal for him. And it will be for all of us, most of us living on earth. We're going to discuss the subject here tonight. So he's undergoing this, what he calls the mental suffering, the torments of the soul. And the same way he got help, we can always get help. However, we don't have to be discarnate for that. We can get help now, which we're going to talk briefly. But the help, excuse me, the help he gets is external help. We can get external help for our moral pain, our struggles, spiritual help, a professional help, if you will. But those are external. Those are outside helps. That is it? This kind of help, the outside help, is good for the torments outside the soul. Something that we experience, but it's not within us. It's things that happen around us and the way we see things. However, you can get help for that, but the torments within the soul, those are the difficult ones. So, and that's a whole different story because they are personal. And working on them requires effort, and worst of all, it cannot be outsourced. It's our own work. Nobody can do this for us. It's internal work, which requires a lot of knowledge, understanding, and how to get out of it. So working on the internal, or the torments within the soul. That is done invariably by letting go of evil, and adopting goodness altogether. It might sound a little bit strange, but that's exactly what it is. If we don't let go of evil, of any form, any intensity, we will always be experiencing some form of torment within our souls. So in order to get rid of this, in order to let go of evil and adopt goodness, embrace goodness altogether, this requires us to go through a series of reincarnations. It is for us, in the stage that we are as spirits in evolution, it's not possible to do in one incarnation, one lifetime. It requires a series of reincarnations. As we go along, we get better at the end of each one. So we exit the reincarnation better than when we enter it. So by having several opportunities, several lives, several reincarnations, the spirit has the opportunity to promote its own inner transformation. And again, it cannot be outsourced. It cannot be outsourced. These struggles, part of the struggles that we have to go through, lead us to this lamentation. So we complain all the time, nothing is good, everything is wrong, and God, I don't deserve this. So all of these things, which are, by the way, very familiar to all of us. So lamentation is the symptom of a mental illness. And that mental illness is time-consuming, and it's hard to treat. Time-consuming because it's repetitive. You lament and you complain and complain and complain and keep going and going and going. Like if you're going around in circles, you don't get anywhere, just do the same thing all the time. And it makes it very hard to treat. So the problem is the focus we put on mental suffering or mental illness generates pain and suffering. So it has to do with our mindset. If we focus on mental suffering, it's going to bring us pain and suffering. So it's like, why are you suffering right now? Well, I'm suffering because I am suffering. So suffering makes me suffer more. You see, you get into this snowball effect. The focus that we have to put on is in overcoming it. Not in it, but overcoming it. That will lead us to a different outcome. I'm not saying there are not going to be struggles, but it's going to get us out of the unnecessary suffering. And again, that's little by little, a little bit on each reincarnation, on each lifetime. So pain means the possibility of enriching the soul. Pain means the possibility of enriching the soul. And the struggle is a way towards divine realization. In order to get there, to perfection, there will be struggles. Because we have to go from where we are to something completely different. And it's not easy. There will be struggles. And if we look into the Gospel according to Spiritism, there's a beautiful, beautiful message by Spirit Lacordaire, where, among other things, he says something very interesting. 2 words. He says, suffer well. Okay, what is exactly suffer well? What is the context? Suffer well. It doesn't have anything to do with the intensity of the suffering. It has to do with the quality. Does suffering have quality? Yes, it could be worse, a lot worse, or not so bad. That's what it says. Suffer well is suffering happens because we have to go through the struggles due to our past, our history, our spiritual history. So once we have to go through it, let's do it right, meaning understanding and complying with the laws of nature. That way, we only do this once. We don't have to go through the same situation, through the same sufferings, through the same things over and over again. We'll pass through this, learn from it, never go back to it. That is what these two words from Spirit Lacordaire mean. Suffer well. So all these illnesses that we have, that we experience as we go along the journey, are consequences of our, I would say, erratic behavior of the past. So we need to go back somehow and set them right. That's the only way of getting past this. Because if we don't set things right, we're going to be wrong all the time, and again and again and again and again in a snowball. So the body pays for it. The body gets, all these illnesses, diseases, and so on. So the body is a consequence of something. If you take a box, just think of a box, okay? No particular color, no design, just a box. If you place gold in that box, or let's do even better, if we place jewelry, diamonds in that box, when you look inside, when you open up and you look inside, from outside you can't tell what's inside. But when you look inside, you open up and you see, now I get the idea. This is a jewelry box. Now, if you take the very same box, and you put trash inside, things that you would just, litter, put on a trash can, you put trash inside, and you open the box. You can't tell what's inside from the outside. You open a box and you look at it and say, this is a trash box. But it's the same box. So you see, what defines the box is not the box. It's the content inside. It's what it carries inside. The body is the exactly same thing. The body tells a story because of what's inside the body. Because of the content. What is the content? What's inside the body? The essence, the soul, the spirit, whatever name you want to use. The spark. That's the inside. That is what defines the body. You see, so if our soul, if our essence, if our spirit is morally let's say, not so much advanced, our body, or imperfect, let's use the word imperfect, if our soul, essence, spirit is imperfect, the body is going to be imperfect, displaying illnesses, diseases, physical pain, because of the imperfections of the soul. The body is our box. The body is a consequence. It responds to a behavior. It follows the behavior. So who is in charge? It's not the body. It's the spirit going through these struggles. And if it doesn't suffer well, it's going to produce bodies that are unhealthy. So transitioning out of the pain, like I said, it's not easy. It's like transitioning out of a comfort zone, which is never easy for anyone. And St. Augustine in the Gospel according to Spiritism, he refers to this by saying more or less like this, right? If you want to go from the comfort zone out to something really better, it's not going to be easy. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. It's not going to be easy. But if you stick to it, you'll get there. The problem is we stick to our ongoing moral pattern to the point that we define them as we define dogmas. We create our own dogmas by violating the idea of free thinking. And I'm right, this is good, this is what it is. Everything that doesn't align with this is wrong. So we complain about even God. We dethrone God all the time. So we create this castle of dogmas inside, and we stick to it. So the pain never goes away. The struggles are present all the time. Just to be on the same page, what is dogma, right? Dogma is the absolute truth, something you cannot question. So when I state something as a dogma, meaning this is it, it can never be questioned. Don't ask me why, because I'm not going to have an answer. I just state it as the absolute truth. And that's what the problem is. Our absolute truth is not the same truth that we should be subscribing to. We subscribe to the truth. We don't tell what it is. That's completely different. So at the level of evolution that we are right now, we end up being these dogmatic beings, crashing all the time, pledging our souls to all these dogmas, which is obviously bad for ourselves. And that's where Spiritism comes in, because it will give us a different perspective on all of this, on suffering, on implementing changes in our lives. Like André Luiz says, tears of despair are not constructive. You know, the whining, complaining, lamentation. No, it doesn't make anything easier, let alone better. So when we go through the trials of expiations that we are all undergoing here, because this is a world for spirits who need to undergo trials and expiations, the earth is one of them. So it's useless to sustain the idea that I don't deserve this, the idea that it's unfair to me, the idea that I don't remember doing anything wrong to get this as a result. It's useless. Sustaining ideas like this is like running in circles. Again, it's lamentation. It will not get us anywhere. By doing this, we're just challenging God's mercy. And guess who's going to lose? We do. Complaining about the trials and expiations that we have to go through only generates more situations that will have to be offset in the future. It's a snowball. Emmanuel has a very interesting phrase, short, but very profound, deep. Revolt and incomprehension are synonyms. So if you're rebelling, if you're in revolt against something, there is something else above it that you don't comprehend. So stop revolting. It's not going to make it any better. Stop. Just stop. Let's understand why this is happening. You know, sustaining revolt doesn't make us get out of it. It makes us go deeper into it. No one's purpose on earth is to suffer. No one. We are here to debug our souls, to repair our errors of the past, to elevate our souls, to reach, to go towards purity. pain is not part of the divine code. Pain is created by us. We can actually say, it's going to sound strange, but it's true. We can actually say that pain is earned. It's something that we earn. You know why it's not strange if you think about it? If you think pain is earned and you have your mind up there right now listening to me, oh, but I will not suffer one day. Fine, but go the other way around. We could be in a world, instead of trials and expiations, we could be in a world that is primitive. Because we are here in trial and expiations, the pain, the level of pain that we got is earned. We passed the worst. It's our merit to be here today. It will be our merit one day to be in a regenerative world. And we're going to look back and say, wow, I used to be in trials and expiations. By then, when you get there to regenerative worlds, we will have earned. There's merit in it. So pain only exists while the spirit sustains it. Right? And sustains, why it does that? Because it attaches rebelliousness, selfishness, ignorance, unruliness. It attaches all of these things. And that's what we need to get rid of. You see, rebelliousness channels resources to make us even more of a rebel. Snowball. So we need to comprehend this. This is what the Spiritism brings us, makes us think. Let's think about this, understand, and start doing different. The causes of our infirmities will stay with us until we are able to eliminate the bad seeds accumulated in our spiritual body. If I don't eliminate the bad seeds, they will be generating infirmities. What are the bad seeds? Evil thoughts, bad thoughts, negative thoughts. So again, we are placed in a world of trials and expiations, not by accident, not by design. We earned it. It was worse before, much worse. So we earn the status that we are in today, which is good because that gives me strength in myself to keep going and do more and search for more and look for more. I was able to get to go from a much worse situation to where I am today. Why am I not able to go from today to something much better? Yes, we are. So we could be, actually we were at one point in a primitive world. And we are now struggling, that's the word, right? Trying to emerge from this journey as a better spirit, as a better person. And we will. It requires effort. It requires dedication, study, and knowledge. Yes. So let's keep in our minds a positive thought. It was worse, and I was able to turn things around and got here. I'm able to do the same thing. Turn things around now to be on a better place, to come out as a better person, as a better spirit at the end of this lifetime and sequentially all the others. Thank you very much for being with us today. I wanted to just share with you a new resource that we have It's called KardecFlix.com. Go to the site. You're going to see it's a new platform. You can see here on the description. You have a tremendous amount of resources in Spiritism, books, movies, interviews, different things, and contents for everyone in the family. It's a great resource, KardecFlix.com. So I really invite you to, go ahead and try it out. Okay? So thank you very much for being with us today. And again, we will be here next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Spiritism, a closer look on Kardec Radio. Thanks so much.